Enough is enough. Enough of her brattiness. I will move for the decrease in the budget of the Office of the Vice President. I actually intended initially to move for zero budget for the Office of the President, or for the disapproval of the budget for the Office of the President, of the Office of the Vice President, in light of those very questionable actuations on the part of the Vice President. Enough is enough.
Hindi ko lang maintindihan kung bakit didiretso magtatanong yung mga kasama natin to a higher office, which is the Office of the Vice President. We argued there. At respect for the due process, no for the budget process. How can we respect the budget process? Let me say this. My only hope is that all things will be corrected in this Congress. The budget process will be corrected in this budget and in this Congress. Why I said that? There are two parts of the annual budget that is presented to us by the executive. First part is the new general appropriations, and the second part is the automatic appropriations. Yung automatic appropriations, hindi na natin yan pinag-uusapan dito because they are already covered by previous special laws debated by our predecessors. Pero in the 2025 budget, the automatic appropriations were mangled. Lumampas. May dagdag bawas. 14 special laws were amended. Kasama na yung PhilHealth law at saka Syntax law amended. Ang daming ginalaw. 14 special laws sa automatic appropriations na hindi dapat ginagalaw yan. Pagdating sa new general appropriations, kaya nga tayo tinatawag na General Appropriations Act, New General Appropriations, yun yung ating didiscuss. What comprises the new general appropriations? The program funds and the unprogrammed funds. Program funds, 26 out of 27 departments were mangled beyond recognition. Isa lang ang hindi ginalaw, DBM. Bakit ang lakas ng DBM? 26 were mangled. Dagdag bawas. At saka yung program appropriations nilipat and program including the foreign assisted projects. At saka yung fiscal space na naiwan, pinalitan ng mga priority pet projects na wala man lang sa National Development Plan ng ating Republika ng Pilipinas. Pet projects inserted. That's why in this rostrum, I said last August 4, the 2025 budget is the most corrupt budget ever passed by this Congress and perhaps by the entire Philippine history. Ginalaw, program appropriations, and program appropriations may ongoing releases pa. Alam niyo kung anong worry ko? For us, legislators, even the executive, must consider that the number one priority of the Constitution says that education will be given the priority and the highest budget year per year. Sa 2025 budget, nahabol ng DPWH ang total infrastructure budget. Kahit ano pang sasabihin nila at binago yung composition, still malaki pa rin ang infrastructure budget kaysa education sector. And they are still releasing from unprogrammed funds. Mas lalong lumaki yung gap between infrastructure and education. Ladies and gentlemen of this House, it is our duty, it is our obligation to keep track, babantayan yung budget because education is the number one priority of the Republic of the Philippines. Iniwan na ng budget ng infrastructure highly questionable pa kasi yung mga releases ang malalaki, flood control projects. Where can we get respect from that? Ladies and gentlemen of this house, my personal, yes, OBP, what I am saying is the budget process. How will we get respect? That's why the chairman, madam, the Appropriations Committee, this Congress have a very big role to perform, to correct the image, to correct the impression. We must be able to come up with an honest-to-goodness budget for 2025. Yun lang po.
Maraming salamat,
Mr.
Mr. Speaker. And we heard the manifestation from the minority and also the manifestation of our distinguished colleague, Congressman Ongab. On my behalf, I will see to it. I'm also a member of the Appropriations Committee. We will produce a budget that is beyond compare, meaning for the benefit of all Filipinos concerned. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Actually, nakaschedule the other day pa yung OVP. Then, nagsulat siya na she cannot personally attend, so papadalan niya yung kaniyang representative. Si Yusek Sulaika Lopez is on leave, so yung officer in charge sa kanyang opisina is Asek Limuel Ortunio. So, I don't know kung bakit humihingi sila ng USEC na mag-represent, but the ASEC is also the OIC, no? But nung latest kanina, I was not following kasi busy ako sa ibang budget. I heard that VP Sara was not able to attend, and she said that yun na nga, kung nire-require yung attendance niya, why not yung iba din? Bakit hindi nire-require? At saka may request siya na dapat i-lift yung parang travel ban sa kaniyang mga OVP staff, which was ginawa noon sa time ng Quadcom hearings. So medyo humaba yung discussion. Nagsalita yung dalawang congressman, then saka na ako nag-manifest din. There was an insinuation kasi na bababa na naman yung budget niya. Sabi ko, 2 times na nagbaba ng budget ng OVP. 2024 at 2025 budget. Then hindi pa nga siya nabigyan ng parliamentary courtesy nung last year. So I tried to voice that. Pero yung pinaka-point ng aking manifestation is we should get the respect of the people. Dapat respetuhin nirespeto din dapat yung ating budget nung 2025 budget kasi i-bring up ko na naman yung mga anomalya sa 2025 budget. Yung automatic appropriations ginalaw, yung program appropriations ginalaw, yung unprogram appropriations ginalaw, pati foreign assisted project. Sabi ko na naman ulit, yung 2025 budget is the most corrupt budget. So just to bring the attention of everybody that our budget process here is questionable, and I appealed, I tried to challenge the new appropriations chairman na sana kung ano yung nangyari sa 2025, dapat hindi na yun mangyari ulit dito sa 2026, which she assured naman na gagawan nila ng paraan na magiging professional yung paggagawa ng 2026 budget.
Magkano bang hinihingi, Kong, ni VP Sara for 2026? At magkano ba yung ha-afford? Plano ngayon na ipapasa under the House GAB for 2026?
Well, I think it will be leadership call already kasi manifestations lang naman kami kanina, wala namang motions. If ever there will be motions to consider, doon na yun pagdating sa period of amendments. So, mostly kanina ano lang yun, manifestation na kung anong gustong gagawin. So yung mga arguments dito at pagdepensa, like me, I am going to really defend the budget of VP Sara. Although ang naka-assign talaga mag-defend is Congressman Pipito Alvarez, no, na kaibigan din natin na taga Palawan. He is assigned to defend it. Pero ako, tutulong din ako mag-defend pagdating sa period of amendments. Nag-usap-usap kami sa mga kaibigan at kaalyado. Usapan namin, hindi na tayo papayag na babawasan pa yung budget ng OVP kasi may insinuations kanina na babawasan pa nila yung budget. So, hindi na tayo papayag. 2 taon na yan binawasan eh. So we will do our best to fight for the budget of the OVP.
Itong tanong ko, Kong, medyo personal dahil sa matagal mong pagkakakilala kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Anong sa tingin mo, sir, yung actuations niya ngayon? Bakit ganon yung mga naging hakbang niya dyan sa Philippine House of Representatives?
Understandable naman sa yung ginawa last year under the former leadership saka under the chairmanship of the former chairman na controversial ngayon. Masyadong I would say parang binastos talaga yung opisina niya, no? Walang respeto. Kaya if you remember, kaming dalawa ni former congressman, ngayon ay Senator Marcoleta, i-insist talaga namin yon na dapat ang OVP meron talagang parliamentary courtesy. So, mahaba yung discussion, talo kami sa botohan nun. Pero ngayon, lately, at least, medyo maganda na yung move doon sa committee. I hope na panindigan din ng new chairman at saka yung mga commitment ng committee na mas maganda yung pagtrato sa budget ngayong 2026.
Kamusta ba ang atmosphere ngayon, Kong, sa House of Representatives with the new Speaker, Boji D? Kamusta ang atmosphere? Kamusta ang pakikitungo sa inyo?
Okay naman. Humble at saka not, I would say, not as aggressive as the previous. Saka maganda nito, wala siyang personal ambition. Yung isa, halata, masyado yung ambition nun. Gusto magiging kandidato sa 2028. Ito naman, sa nakita ko, wala. So, although still has a lot to be seen kung how will he perform, kung anong mga plano niya. Ongoing pa man ang budget hearing, we will be observing kung anong plano niya sa komitiba, mag-reorganize ba siya, anong legislative agenda ang gusto niya i-pursue, anong mga programa na gusto niyang baguhin, o anong kanyang vision para sa susunod na 3 taon
Oo, kasi
para sa Kongreso.
Opo, nabanggit niya po kasi sa kanyang speech na lahat daw ng mga kongresista bukas niyang kausapin, no? Para mapag-isa, mapag-unite ang Kamara de Representantes, which we hope na sana, kasi pag markado kang Duterte supporter, Kong, hindi ka lang kakausapin, iipitin ka pa sa nagdaan.
Yes, we will support him for that. Sinabi niya na mag-unite for a common purpose, common good. Sa nangyari naman sa nung nakaraan kasi, we started good. Lang, nung gusto nang gumawa na binabangga na si VP, inalis na kami isa-isa. Lahat ng naka-identify ka VP, lahat ng aming privileges, lahat ng aming projects, benepisyo, pinagtatanggal. Pati nga opisina, na-inject pa ako sa opisina.
Grabe ang mga nangyari. Kong, dito po sa inyong naging kanina, no, naging manifestation, o sa inyo pong naging press statement. Ano po ba yung major, sir, na inyo pong question kaugnay po sa additional releases ng DBM to DPWH mula po sa unprogrammed funds?
Yes, actually yun ang main question ko kanina sa lump sum appropriations, kasi yung unprogrammed funds is considered lump sum appropriations. Ang point ko kasi kanina, release pala sila ng release sa unprogrammed appropriations para sa DPWH. Di ba may question na tayo? In fact, nasama pa yun sa question sa Supreme Court na na-overtaken na nung budget ng ng infrastruktura yung education sector. Whereas yung Constitution natin sa Republika ng Pilipinas, klaro yung nakasaad doon na number one priority sa budget natin is education. At nandoon din sa budget message ng ating Pangulo, 2025, nakasalagay doon na number one priority is the education, second lang yung infra. May basis din yon kasi yung sa BESF budget of estimate and sources of financing, nakalagay na rin doon yung komposisyon ng sektor, ng education sector. So, hindi na pwede dapat yung baguhin, hindi na pwede lang dadagdagan. So, I keep track of that those figures, nalampasan talaga. Doon pa lang sa pag-approve ng GAA ng 2025, nalampasan na yung nalampasan na ng DPWH yung education sector. At saka ang masaklap pa ngayon, nag-release pa sila ng mas malaking unprogrammed funds sa DPWH, mas lalong lumaki yung gap, which really makes the budget unconstitutional. May nag-release sila ng unprogrammed sa education, maliit lang masyado, 8 billion. Pero 54 billion yung nirelease doon sa unprogram, which really makes the budget unconstitutional.
Opo, Kong, yung gabi, dito po sa budget naman ngayon ng DPWH or sa iba pang mga pag-budget lalo na sa infra, na masisilip na ba natin kung merong mga anomalya, meron na bang pagbabago, nagbagong buhay na ba sila? Kasi nga, na-publicize na itong naging kalakaran po sa maanomalyang flood control projects pa nga ito, Kong.
So, sa budget per se, kung titingnan lang natin yung budget, yung GAA o yung BICAM report at saka yung unprogram, yun, hindi mo malalaman talaga kung good or bad. So, ano lang yun, figures lang yung makikita. Pero makikita mo lang doon na lumaki talaga yung budget for flood control kasi may mga flood control releases eh. Kaya nga tinatanong ko, ano yung mapetsa ng releases? I want to know. As of now, hindi pa nila binibigay sa akin, but they promised to me, they committed to me na ibigay nila lahat yung hinihingi ko na data. I would want to know kung anong particular items sa DPWH yung na-release doon. Anong petsa at saka kung kailan yun, kailan petsa, kailan na-release. I want to know kasi, di ba 2025 na election tayo? Aside from election, merong impeachment kay VP. So gusto ko malaman kung kailan ni-release yung unprogrammed appropriations. Kasi dapat technically, yung unprogrammed appropriations, ma-release lang yun kung may excess income ka. Ma-release lang yun kung may other sources of income ka or utang, loans. So most likely, loans yung source nila. Bakit kung nag-loan ka, bakit mauna mo pang i-release yung unprogrammed kaysa program? So kung may loan ka, unahin mong i-release yung program funds kaysa unprogram. So here you will see the expansion of DPWH funds. Hindi lang doon sa program fund na nag-expand pa siya pagdating sa unprogram.